trying to hustle that life.
Yeah, being a dad.
I'm gonna borrow your.
Go for it. Yep, no, you're good.
Oh,
Try to figure that one out.
That'll be $10 though.
Oh, okay. Shit. I
There's
got
nothing
five.
like having a nanny good on you. Yikes. Ugh.
Where do you want me looking?
At Sierra in the middle.
Straight ahead.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Ready.
Hardest question, just if you could state and spell your name as well as, even though we know it, and what you do for SDP.
I am Lieutenant Daniel Meyer. Last name is Meyer. I'm the Public Information Officer for San Diego Police.
And what is the latest on the search this morning?
Yeah, so I'll start with the basics from yesterday. At about 8 a.m., Diem Le Nguyen began a hike here at Nighthawk Trail with about 100 people, to include family and friends. They continued up to about halfway up the mountain, where Diem separated from the rest of the group. The remainder of the group returned to the base of the mountain while Diem attempted to make it to the peak of the mountain. At about 10:08, family received a phone call of distress from Diem, stating that she was very hot and needed water. That's the last time anyone has heard from Diem through today. San Diego Police Department responded to the scene at about 11:30 in the morning. We identified immediately that Diem was a missing person at risk as a result of the environment, the heat index, and obviously Diem's distress call. Several resources were activated and responded to the scene, to include San Diego County Sheriff's search and rescue teams, canines, helicopters, park rangers, as well as the San Diego Police Department drone unit. The search yesterday was intensive, focused on trails here at the Nighthawk Trail. However, it was unsuccessful. We continued through the night till about 1 a.m. With helicopters searching as well as ground search crews. Those helicopters involved were San Diego Police Department Able helicopter, San Diego County Sheriff's Astrea helicopter, and our San Diego Fire helicopter. There were a total of 7 flights last night with above 5 hours of flight time. However, all of those searches with infrared searching capabilities were unsuccessful in finding Diem. So the search continues today. We began again this morning at about 7:30 with search and rescue, as you can see behind me, beginning their search of the trails. However, today's search will be mostly centered around brush surrounding those trails, so going off trail today into thick brush. I do want to reiterate for the public that we have received their calls for assistance. We do appreciate any offers of assistance, but we are asking the public to stay away and not attempt to assist in locating this hiker. It's extremely important that they not come to the site here and attempt to assist, mainly because we have search dogs on site, and multiple scents of multiple people will confuse those dogs and hinder the search. So again, please remain off of the trail and the surrounding areas. The public can assist by getting the word out via social media and calling San Diego Police if there are any sightings of Diem.
Have you found anything that she might have left behind?
No, we have not. We have had an officer with family and at her home at all times. She has not returned home or made further contact with family. Obviously, go ahead.
No, keep going. I'm so sorry.
I was just going to say, obviously, very concerning.
Could you, you said that she was out here with family and friends, about 100 people. Was that 100 people total on the trail, or she knew this was a big, large party that all together went on this hike?
So it was a group that went on the hike together. It did include family and friends. However, it was something that they put out via social media and some other avenues. And so several people did join. Some were strangers to Diem, but many were also family and friends.
This was a fundraiser hike. I mean, that's what the family's telling us, that it was a fundraiser to raise money to pay for schools to be built in countries like Vietnam. So there was well over 100 people here.
Mm-hmm.
Did they say if she went off just by herself, or was she with 1 or 2 other people that then left her behind? Where did that go?
So what I know at this point is that the entire group made it to the halfway point of the trail. The remainder of the group wanted to return to the base, and Diem wanted to continue to the peak. Diem chose to do so on her own. All of the remainder of that group returned to the base of the trail.
Can you talk about dehydration? Because I know that was a huge concern yesterday, probably remains the case for many hikers today, and how that can disorient one.
Absolutely. Super important to talk about when going on a hike or being out in the outdoors in summer months. We obviously encourage you bring sufficient water. You not do things like hike alone. Have a travel buddy. Cell phone capabilities at all times. Have a plan in place. Dehydration is extremely critical in these hot months, that we have a plan in place to combat that. Yesterday was mid 90s as far as temperature goes. Today will be about 90 degrees. We have the same concern for our search and rescue teams and making sure that they're safe and have sufficient water, and we ask that the public do the same so that we don't have these kinds of incidents.
Any cell phone pings as of late?
So we did have some cell phone pings yesterday. They are not as finite as we would like them to be to assist significantly in the search. However, we are continuing to attempt cell phone pings as we move forward in the day. We did send out a locator message through our search and rescue team to Diem. This is a capability that if a single button is pushed when it appears on the screen, it shares live GPS data to our search and rescue team here. However, that was not activated. So we have not been successful in that endeavor as well.
With those pings, have you been able to narrow the search? Because obviously there's several trails here on Black Mountain. Have you been able to narrow the search to a specific area?
So there are several specific areas that we are searching. There were a couple of sightings early yesterday morning from neighboring homes looking up toward the mountain. And so we've obviously utilized that information to focus our efforts. Same thing with the cell phone pings. We have narrowed some of our search to certain areas on the mountain. However, they're, again, just not as reliable as we would like them to be. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're more finite. These particular cell phone pings that we're getting are a much larger area that isn't helping as much as we would like it to.
What about the infrared surges done by helicopter last night? Can you talk about that? And were you able to get any heat signatures that
Yeah, so
to narrow your search?
So again, we had 3 helicopters out last night, Sheriff's helicopter, San Diego Fire, and San Diego Police Department helicopters, all searching throughout the night. There were more than 5 hours of searches done with our forward-looking infrared imaging technology, trying to find heat sources out on the mountain and the trail. Those were all unsuccessful. There were 7 flights in total. Those flights will continue today.
From the outside looking in, it's kind of hard to believe that she was with such a huge group of people and she got, decided to go off on her own. Do you have any advice for hikers who, do everything right? They hike in groups. Any advice for them on how this could be avoided?
Listen, hiking in the summer months is dangerous, especially when it's super hot out. Even if you take all of the precautions available to you, there's still a chance that you may be in a situation that you don't want to be in. So there are many avenues to take when trying to mitigate the risk when you're doing a hike like this one. However, you can never be more prepared, right? So the more preparation you have, the more water, the more snacks, the more people in your group, more cell phones, those kinds of things just assist in the probability of us finding you if you get lost.
Can you talk about these hiking trails in any detail? I know I've actually hiked Black Mountain a few times, but it's been a while, and I remember it being pretty rocky, a lot of loose rocks that you could easily twist an ankle, lose your footing. Can you talk just sort of about the condition aside from the
Yeah, the hiking trails here in San Diego are just that. Typically pretty hard pack dirt with rocks that sometimes are in place and sometimes are not. There's certainly trip and fall hazards pretty much on any hiking trail here in San Diego. So all of these things are concerns, and they're all things that we take into account when we're doing our searches, looking if there's any canyons, anything like that somebody could fall into. Certainly a part of that search.
And I apologize if you've already talked about this, but I know that last night you talked about specialized gear that was going to be brought in to kind of help with reaching some of the more difficult terrain. Can you talk about some of the gear?
So search and rescue is the ones that they're the entity bringing in that gear. I can't speak intelligently on that gear. I would point you over to search and rescue to try and get that information.
I know that the family was talking about they have hope. How high is the likelihood that you will be able to find her within the next 24 hours? Because time isn't on our side as the afternoon
Sure.
goes up and it becomes hotter and hotter.
Sure. So our heart goes out to the family. This is a super stressful situation. Obviously, they're concerned for their loved one. We are equally as concerned. I'm not going to get into probabilities of finding Diem within a particular period of time. But what I will tell you is that we have all of the resources we can dedicated to finding her, and we will be out here until we do so.
Is there any signs of her being injured, or like other than obviously the heat? Is there any other sign that you might have that she might be actually hurt out there?
So the only thing that could point to that being the case would be the distress call that was made by Diem when she said that she was extremely hot and needed water. Obviously, that was the last communication that was had with Diem from anybody. So, is there a likelihood that she's injured or in a medical state that is concerning? Yes, I would say so.
And just to be clear, when was that call made?
10:08 yesterday.
Thank you.
Let me give you a quick description of Diem. So her name is Diem Le Nguyen, also known as Dina. She's an Asian female. She's 5'1", 105 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a black shirt with a pink heart on it, black pants, a sun hat, and a black backpack. Photos are available on San Diego Police Department's social media, specifically our Instagram. So if you need a photo, please refer to that. We ask that the public call if they have any sightings of anybody matching that description in the vicinity.
Will you provide another briefing at, like time-wise when we can get another briefing? And could you make a search and rescue team member available?
I can reach out to Search and Rescue. They're not obviously part of our department, so I'll have to defer to them. I can't give you a time frame, but as soon as I have an update, I will do another media availability.
Do you know how long, like, their search logs, for lack of a better term, are? Will they be going for like a few hours at a time and then take a break and another shift comes in or something?
Yeah, so the crew that's here today will be here for the remainder of the day. They hope for a secondary crew to come at night if it moves into the night. Yesterday we had about 60 plus searchers. Today we have about 30 plus searchers, but that may change throughout the day. Obviously, Search and Rescue, they're volunteer staff, so they also have careers and such, so they come as they're able, and they're a great resource. We really appreciate their help.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No worries. Yeah.
Do you mind if we grab you on camera here real quick?
Yeah.
Just literally a couple questions. Yeah, you can grab
Go for it.
the mics and stuff
Go for
like
it.
that.